So this story is about a birthday. And it was a king, and the king had a daughter. And he loved his daughter very much, and it was her birthday coming up. Did you know that someone else's birthday is coming up really soon? My birthday is next week. So that's why I picked this story, just to give you some ideas, okay? So there was a king, and he had a lovely daughter that may or may not have been called Liz. We don't know that part of the story, but maybe she was called Liz, and she was very smart, and she was very loving, and the king loved her very much. And so the king went to his daughter and said, "What would you like for your birthday? It's coming up and it's a special birthday. You're going to be 10 years old, double digits. It's going to be a great birthday. What would you like?" And she said, "Well, Father, I like to go out on my balcony every night and look out onto the moon. Now, I don't know if you can see the moon from where you are, and I can't quite see it from where I am now. But it is a big old moon tonight. It is a big, big super moon. Asha, can you see the moon from there? Yes or no? No. Well, it's a big moon tonight. And that was Liz's favorite moon. She loved to go on her balcony and look up at this beautiful moon every night. And she would sing to it, and she would talk to it, and she loved the light that basked in the moon basking. She said to her father, "You know, I just love the moon so much. I'm sad when it goes away during the day. I would like to have the moon as a gift." Now, the king was a little worried about this because he thought, "I'm not going to be able to take the moon out of the sky, but I told her that she could have whatever she wanted." So he just said, "Of course, my daughter, I love you more than anything in the world. I'll make sure you get that moon." And off he went. Now, kings have a lot of wise advisors. And so he went to go and speak to the wise advisors and see what they had to say. So he went to the first wise advisor, and this first wise advisor said, "What do you need?" And the king said, "Oh, wise advisor, I'm so silly. I promised my daughter that I would get the moon. Can you help me get the moon for my daughter?" And the wise advisor said, "Are you a fool? Don't you know that the moon is so big it would never fit in the palace? You'll never get the moon for your daughter's birthday." Well, the king was kind of sheepish. "Okay, I didn't know that, but thank you for helping me. I know I'm a little foolish sometimes." So off he went. But he wasn't going to give up. So he went to the second wise person. Ooh, and the second wise person had a lot of dust in their hat. And they said it was magic dust. And when the king asked, "My daughter is so dear to me, and I did something silly. I promised her that I would get the moon, and I know the first wise advisor told me that the moon is so big it would never fit in the palace, but I'm just wondering, how can I get the moon for my daughter's birthday?" And the second wise person said, "Are you a fool? Don't you know the moon is miles and miles and miles away? You'll never get it to the palace in time." Well, the king said, "No, thank you for telling me. I don't like feeling foolish. I didn't realize the moon was so far away. But he doesn't like to give up. So he went to the last wise person of the village. And he asked again, please, I promised my daughter that she could have the moon. And I know that it's 1,000,000 miles away, and I know that it's so big it won't fit in the palace, but do you think I might be able to get the moon for her birthday? And the last wise person said, are you a fool? Don't you know that the moon is made of cheese? And it smells so bad that you wouldn't want it in your palace. And that's right. And so the king said, no, I didn't know the moon was made of cheese. That's new to me. But I guess you're right. I don't want smelly cheese in the palace on her birthday. Okay. And so he sat back and he was feeling really sad. He was worried that he didn't know what he was going to get for his daughter's birthday. So he sat and thought about it. And he was feeling so sad that he called his jester over. And he said, Jester, I'm feeling so sad. Please make me feel better. Because I want to get a birthday present that's really good, and I'm just so sad. Please help me feel better. And so the jester said, yes, sire, I'll help you feel better. And he did his juggling, and he told his jokes, and he did his dancing that hopefully helped keep the lights on. And he did all sorts of things. But the king just sat there. And he said, excuse me, sire, if you may, normally my jokes and my juggling cheer you up right away. But this time, you're still sad. What's wrong? And the king told him. He told him how he wanted to get the moon, but it was so far away, and it was so big, and it was so smelly that he couldn't bring it for the birthday. And so the jester said, well, I know that they called you a fool. Well, I am a fool, and I wondered maybe sometimes a fool can figure something out. Leave it to me, and I'm going to get the moon for your daughter's birthday. Well, by this time, the daughter's birthday was the next day. So the king didn't really have much choice. So he told the jester that he could do whatever he wanted. So the jester went underneath the balcony that night and waited for Liz to come on the balcony. And Liz came out onto the balcony that night to look at the big moon that she loved so much. And then there was Jester by the trees. Psst. Psst. Who's there in the bushes? Oh, it's just me, the fool, the jester. I wondered, Princess Liz, what are you looking at? And the princess said, well, I'm looking at the moon. Isn't it beautiful? Don't you know? My father is going to give it to me for my birthday tomorrow. Huh. Liz, how big do you think the moon is? Well, are you a fool? Don't you know? It's just as big as my thumbnail. When I put my thumbnail up to the sky, it covers up the moon. So it's just as big as my thumbnail. And Liz, how far away is the moon? Are you a fool? Don't you know it's just above that tree over there? It's not very far at all. And Liz, what is the moon made of? Really? I know that you are a fool, but this takes the biscuit. Can you not tell how sparkly it is? It's obviously, everybody knows, made of silver. Okay. Well, that is a beautiful moon, and you're very lucky to get it for your birthday. I'll see you at the party. And so off the jester went. Well, the next night came, and the king was rather nervous because he didn't have a gift for his daughter. And the party was starting, and he had nothing to give her. Until the jester came up, and he gave him this little box. And the king looked at it and said, well, it's only this big, and I thought the moon was huge. And it's right here in my hand and not a million miles away, and I thought it was a million miles away, and doesn't smell like cheese. But the party had already started, and so he didn't have any other choice but to trust the jester. So he went over to his daughter, who was just coming around the corner, and she said, Father, have you got my birthday present in your hand right there? Why, yes, this is the moon. And the daughter opened up the box. Oh, Father, that's wonderful. The king still didn't know what was going on until the daughter pulled out the moon. You see, it's just as big as my thumbnail, and it's silver, and it's right here, right from behind the tree. I'm so glad that I've got this beautiful moon that I can carry with me all through the day as well as the night. The father gave his princess a hug and was happy, but was really worried because he knew that she was going to see the moon in the sky that night and know that the necklace she had wasn't the moon at all. So that night, the king went to tuck his daughter in and said to her, Liz, did you look out the window this evening? And she said, why, yes, Father, I did. When it went dark, I looked out the window and the moonlight illuminated my face. And the king said, well, were you not upset that the moon was still in the sky? And Liz looked at her father and said, are you a fool? Don't you know that the moon is like a flower? The moon grows fuller and fuller and fuller, and then when you pluck it from the sky, it grows back again, like a new flower, just a slither. And a new moon grows. So I have my moon this month, and I can take it with me wherever I go. And next month, it will be someone else's turn to pluck the moon from the sky. And that was the end of the story.